Hey everybody, how's it going? So in my left hand I have a Sony NEX EA50, and in my right I have a DJI Action Osmo 4K. I'm going to use 1080p 60 frames a second with each of these cameras for the following presentation. The DJI has rock steady turned on, and the Sony AX53 has active intelligent image stabilization turned on. I'm going to now put them pretty much right next to each other and attach them so that if one shakes, the other one is going to shake. So I cannot shake one of these without shaking the other. And what I wanted to do is I wanted to compare the way these cameras perform when I'm walking with my typical unsteady hand to see which one gives you a better picture. Something I've noticed is that these camcorders, or these kind of older style camcorders like the AX53, they don't really get updated anymore. You know, this camcorder is 5 years old and it still costs right now what it did when Sony first released it. And I originally thought that it would be way better at making a stable image if I was, let's say, turning around like this, or if I was just to, I don't know, run like this. I really thought if I was to run or do something like that the Sony would give me a better picture, because it actually has this thing inside of it, which I'll show you here, where if you shake it, the sensor actually moves inside of the camera. So the sensor has its own little gimbal on it, whereas the DJI does not have that. It's pretty much, as you can see there, totally stationary even if I shake it. Yet what I've noticed when I do these walk-around videos is that the DJI will actually have considerably more stable video than the Sony. So I wanted to do this video so I could kind of technically resolve it once and for all when I look at my footage and figure out which one is more stable. The $1,000 camera that has an active gimbal inside of it, or this DJI action camera that costs 1/4 what the Sony costs. The one thing I really like about the Sony is that A, it gives me zoom. You don't really get good zoom on a cell phone. You don't get any zoom in an action camera. So I like the fact that this has a zoom for when you're going around. But also, I like the fact that it has a port to plug a microphone into. Right over here, I have this DJI microphone that I use, DPA microphone that you can see I have over here. It's the microphone I use for all my border pair videos. It's a very high-end microphone, and it requires plug power or phantom power, which even if you buy a dongle for the DJI, even if you pay for the dongle, it's never going to actually be able to do that level. It's never going to be able to output phantom power or 5 volts to the microphone. Whereas this little Sony AX53, not only does it have a microphone input, but it will also output plug power as well. So I'm just going to walk down the block over here, and I want to look back through the video and figure out which one has better stabilization. Again, these are, I got a little rig over here, it kind of jerry-rigged it so that if I'm shaking one camera, I'm shaking the other one just as much. So both of them have equal hand unsteadiness from my horrible stabilization from me trying to walk without shaking my hands. I guess you'll be able to see the image quality as well. I set white balance, ISO, refresh, all that other stuff is set to auto in each camera. So this is pretty much what it will look like if you're a schmuck like me that sucks at changing the settings and everything and making it normal. Hey, how are you? Nice to meet you. Yeah.
Yeah. Hey.
Nice to see you.
Hey, my name is Sasha.
Oh,
I have
cool.
a YouTube channel too.
What's it called?
Music. It's Sasha Cherniak Guitar.
You want to tell them what it is? Or no?
Yeah.
Yeah, what the hell?
Sasha Cherniak Guitar. I was just playing at Union Square. It was a good time, and this guy, he's on the internet telling people what's up from New York City. And,
But hopefully they'll check it out. It was good meeting you, man.
Yeah, you too.
Have a good day. Yeah, so again, anyway, if you're a schmuck like me and you don't know how to set up camera settings properly, this is pretty much what it will look like on each one because I have everything on auto. I'm going to walk one more block. Yo, that's crazy that people recognize me right near where I live. It was different when it happened in Manhattan or other states. All right, one more block. I won't be surprised if the DJI beats out the Sony, but in the videos that I've done, I don't know if I shake the Sony more or if the Sony is actually worse than the DJI at stabilization for when you're walking around. But that'll be something else if the Sony's worse, because it still sells for about $1,000. Like, I think it was like $900 or $1,000 if you want to buy this camcorder MSRP. And I prefer that form. I like the fact that I get zoom on it. And I like the fact that you have a microphone in. it's a pain in the ass to have to use a separate audio recorder and then sync up the files, especially since the audio recorder is going to spit out one file and the video recorder splits it up every 3 or 4 gigs, so it winds up becoming a total mess, having a clap to do the audio sync, then figure out which audio file goes to which video files. It's hell, so it really is convenient, especially if you're doing a lot of different short recordings for one video, to be able to have the audio and the video in one file on one recorder, which I really like about the Sony. So I'm kind of rooting for it. I think also, since I paid more for the Sony than the DJI, I am consciously hoping that the thing that I paid more money for is better than the thing I paid less money for, so that I don't feel like a schmuck for having paid so much for this AX53. You guys let me know which one you think is better, which one do you think produced a better image, and which one do you think has better stabilization. You got rock steady on the DJI Osmo 4K action camera on the left, and intelligent active stabilization at 1080p 60 on the Sony AX53 on the right. Kind of wonder if this format is just going to die rather than make an updated version of the AX53, if they're just going to focus primarily on mirrorless and the other stuff that the kids are excited about these days. All right, that ends this video. I'll see you all later.